Welcome to another episode of That's Right with Chris Voss, and I am Chris Voss, and have the pleasure now, today, in this moment, to be with Cheryl Klein.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheryl, welcome.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here.
Yes, it's shared, mutual. All right, so is it a ridiculous idea for you to share with our viewers a little about your business and your journey?
Well, thank you for asking. Actually, my business and my journey started when I was about 10. I won't tell you how long ago that was.
But it's been over 10 years now, right?
Yeah. But I went to a small private school in the San Francisco Bay Area, and one day I was called into my principal's office, Mrs. Harris, and my parents were there, and she told me that despite working hard and doing really well, I wasn't a good enough student to remain in the school. But my parents didn't stick up for me, but my dad did tell me that if I put my mind to it, I could achieve anything. So I had that whole academic year and to work longer and harder, which I did, and got all A's and B's, which I thought were great. But at the end of that June of that school year, my dad called me into the kitchen and he told me I wouldn't be going back to that school in the fall. And
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh, but so that kind of cemented in my mind that I wasn't good enough. And I eventually finished my schooling, finished high school. And eventually when I got into college, I was curious about who gets to decide who's good enough. Was it up to Mrs. Harris to decide my fate? And I was particularly interested in Olympians. The people that are the best in the world, who decides, for them if they're deserving or worthy. And so my background's applied sports psychology. For about 20 years, I work with world-class athletes and Olympians to help them get better quicker, how to perform under pressure, to make sure that when they did their best and dedicated their life to something, it wasn't all for nothing, because that's how I felt it was for me.
You felt crushed.
Yeah, exactly. And so I did that for 20 years. And then about 10 years ago, which I'm really dating myself now, but about 10 years ago, I was invited to a speaking event. A friend of mine's on the C staff for Autodesk. And it was a joint event with Autodesk and Google Ventures. And it was mental toughness for the most promising women in tech. And so I did that. And as it turns out, I thought I was able to help women. I got clients. I got them more money. I helped them land roles. I helped them get funding for their companies. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a shift. And so from that time on, about 2015 on, I focused on mental toughness and high performance for women in the workplace.
Wow, amazing. All right. So what are the common challenges to mental toughness in a workplace that women face?
Well, that is a great question. Some of the overall challenges, at least that my clients come to me with, is first, what's next? A lot of my clients, they're one-on-one coaching clients, or I help them with their teams, or work with women's organizations. And they want to know what's next. They're lacking clarity on a legacy plan. And so helping them refine clarity on what's next, but also land the roles, get paid what they deserve, and also have not just a seat at the table, but a voice at the table.
So the legacy plan, that's a challenge that's different for women than for men?
I'm glad you asked that. It is different, and I'll tell you why. Because there are certain social, religious, even generational indoctrinations that make it very challenging for women to access their true power, give themselves permission for what they're capable of, and to really fully listen to their gut and their heart. So it is a little different.
So yeah, and well, you pick out that word, and so it's probably a little more accepted, understood, encouraged for men to think about legacy, but suddenly women find themselves facing that, but don't really know what it is because they haven't been told to think about it. I mean, it's a little bit of a mystery to them. There's a barrier, and they don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah, that's a great point. There are similarities. Like sometimes it can happen for men as well, or in other words, they just do the next thing and next thing and next thing. Like they want a promotion, they want more money, they keep going and going. But particularly for women, a lot of times they can feel uncomfortable, or that they're burnt out, or something's not quite right. And when there's just a process for them to actually understand and surrender for what's next for them and pay attention to their gut and their heart, and to understand and make that shift and pivot when a lot of times there's too many noise or distractions for them to be able to do it. And also other expectations of them from family, from society, from all sorts of different places. So the answers are within. It's just they don't, sometimes they don't have the tools to crack it open.
Yeah, whether it's nature or nurture, certainly nurture is a different set of circumstances for women than it is for men.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, men have their own set of challenges and expectations, to be sure. It's just a little different for women.
It seems like you could share a time when you used tactical empathy to navigate a difficult situation for one of your clients.
I love that question. I've been mastering it. As you know, I've been learning from you for the last 3 years or so, and it's been so important. I'm so grateful that you asked that question. And so I would say tactical empathy. One example would be a recent executive client. We got a legacy plan, clarity on that. She actually went after a role. She landed the role. So now she's in the middle of a salary negotiation. She needed the job. She wanted the job as an international high growth company. She was super excited, but she had reason to believe that the offer wasn't as solid as it could have been and that she deserved more. And so, but her emotion was worry. And so in answer to your question, the tactical empathy was first used internally. And it was observing. I always say be the observer, not the judge. So normally people say, I am so worried if I push on salary, then I might lose the opportunity to someone else. And when you say I am, it's self-labeling. And the voice that we pay attention to the most is our own. So if I say I am worried, then I'm worried. And we both know that emotional dysregulation is not the best thing for negotiations. And so we shifted that to I notice. So her tactical empathy was used for herself and developing some self-compassion, self-empathy. And it was, I notice I'm worried about losing this role if I push, and it's okay. Because when we can shine some light on emotion, make peace with it, we can actually learn from it. It can be a superpower. And so that's what she was able to do. And then she in turn used tactical empathy with the hiring manager, the boss, and acknowledged what position he's in. He might have a strict budget and all the different things that were on his mind. And then she was able to get a 15% bump in pay, also to get a generous bump in options, and also get some non-pecuniary perks that she was super excited about.
Wow. All right. So, I mean, the process of understanding empathy, which is sometimes just noticing.
Yeah.
And if you can use it with others and yourself, then you start using it with yourself, and there's sort of benefits all over the place.
Yeah, because I think it's honestly using tactical empathy with ourselves, it creates a runway so they can actually execute the black swan method and using tactical empathy with others so they can move forward and get what they want, deserve, and
Yes. All right. So there's some specific skills within tactical empathy. What do you to apply this? What are your specific skills that you like to apply it with most of the time?
well, most of the time it has to do with emotional regulation under pressure. So a lot of times,
Well, that's the goal. What do you do to achieve the goal? Like say something to yourself, like I noticed myself. That's self-labeling, effectively, right?
Yeah.
Changing the terminology so you can get some distance from it.
Yeah, of course. So what happens is if we can create some distance, there's something that I've created called the ADD, Emotional Agility Blueprint. And it's not the ADD that you would think about, but what it stands for is awareness, create distance, and then decide. So let's say for the client, the executive client who was negotiating her salary package, it was the awareness part is worry. And then
Stay aware.
Yeah, aware. So that's the awareness. The distance is shifting from I am to I notice. So I notice I feel worried if I push because notice creates worry. It's over there. And then D is decide. So decide phonetically means death of. Decide. And so I like to say that what first of all, what spikes emotion in us and then can set us off off of our game and off of our ability to negotiate is emotional dysregulation. And that's lack of control. She has no control that if she asks for more, if they're going to pull the deal and give it to someone else. She doesn't know. She doesn't have control. But if she can decide on one or two things, keep it very simple, these are things she has control over. So it's slow her speaking, focus on the facts, or something that she has control over. And of course, it's not a guarantee, but she will put her best foot forward and know that it'll give it her best shot.
Best chance of success.
Yeah.
All right, so if people want to learn more about you, how to work with you, how to learn from you, how to be coached by you, how do they find you?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that question as well. So my website is CherylKline.com, Cheryl with an S.
Kline with a K?
Yes, Kline. And then also you can email me directly at Cheryl@CherylKline.com. And then finally, I referred to a worksheet that's in my Fearless Female Leader framework and program, and that's available as well. I'm going to give the resource to your listeners and anyone who's listening to this. So hopefully they will take advantage of that, use it to get prepared so they can negotiate for what they want and deserve.
Amen. Very nice. Cheryl, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure of having you here.